Yeah, you
Jay
are.
is
You,
I,
very
lo- I
excited.
love I
What
love
are you excited about?
I'm excited about Tomorrowland. That's on our doorstep. Coming weekend, I'm playing on Sunday, and yeah, I'm finishing music. I'm preparing my
Hey,
set. It's gonna look very interesting.
I'm
Sound
actually
you're
very
playing on
interesting.
I'm
Sunday as
actually
well.
going to miss both of you because I will be I will be there on Saturday, and no one is, well, at least not one of the people I know is going to be there on Saturday, unfortunately.
It's very bad planning, Joey.
Yeah, we kind of booked it completely blindsided, as in we were like, we just want to go. It doesn't matter, just pick a date, you know. That happened to be the first Saturday. So, but
Yeah, well,
when are you playing, Ralph? As well, Sunday or?
we're playing this week on Sunday. It were two stages. We're doing a little stage somewhere, but I don't know where or what. I was actually checking.
Ralph, your internet, it's
Oh yeah, here
amazing
it
again, isn't
is.
Yeah,
it?
it's
Jesus
horrible. Like,
Christ.
turn on
Yeah,
your
I
5G.
was just explaining. It's the router. Yeah, I can switch it anytime. I'll go. Oh no, fuck this stupid Riverside app, which is. Oh. I can go on my
blames
phone.
blames the Riverside app for his shitty internet.
Exactly. Like, no one's having problems. No one.
Everybody that's
No,
listening,
it's a
pay your
router, but
internet
if I
bills.
disconnect it,
Pay your internet bills.
Oh, there he goes.
ah,
Yeah, he's back.
am I here?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. We can hear
But
you
you
now.
won't even listen to me. You're so
No, because
short-sighted, man.
you
You
stopped. You stopped
conservative
it. You hung. It
person.
was your internet was down again, I
What
think.
did
I
you want
was
to say?
explaining it's the router, but I cannot disconnect it. We need a new one. But
Dude.
Oh,
Now he's back. Are you
unbelievable.
on 5G now?
Yeah, you should
yeah,
switch to 5G.
what
Yeah.
I was explaining before you two hillbillies. Are you here,
Yeah,
hillbillies?
we're
Yes,
here.
yes.
Yeah.
It's the router. But whatever. Is now my
Ralph is
mic.
back.
My mic is gone.
No, it's
No,
good.
we
It's
can hear
working.
you.
But is it this one?
No,
No,
it's the right
it's a
one.
good one.
Okay. Well, all my controls are gone. Hey, whatever. Hey, you want to use
I think you have
Riverside?
to I think you have to leave and get back in because now the sync is gone. I think you have to leave and get back in.
That's gone.
Ah, this guy. What's
Amazing.
up, everyone in the chat? What's up, Lion Harris? What's up, Sug
Lion
Traction?
Harris.
What's
Hey.
up, Bit3? Good to see you all
Lion
back
Harris
here
is
again.
someone who was always present during my Twitch streams.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah,
Nice.
so good to see him here as well.
So he came in through you then, I
I
guess.
guess I guess the EDM world is still quite small. It's still like there's more and more DJs, but I feel like the industry still isn't that big compared to like pop music or bands. You know, like the DJ scene is still quite relatively small, I think.
Hmm. Okay.
But yeah,
What's funny to see, like, we have Jamie Strive back in the chat. We have links back in the chat. It's fun to see that we have the same names coming back every week. So there is, I think we can talk about a fan base starting.
hey,
Like,
we need a name for our fan base. The Argis Coacherinos.
No.
No. Ralph, how are you doing? Are you well, not necessarily, are you excited or maybe even a bit like scared for this weekend, or how does that go in your mind?
Um. Yeah, for me, I don't have to go on stage, so my work's done. But yeah, I'm kind of excited. Will all the new music fit in? I'm seeing a lot of stuff trying to reconnect here.
No, you work.
Yeah, I see it all the time above above you actually.
No, man, you're good. I get no messages, so
Okay.
should Should be good.
No, of course we have a lot of new music, and you're always wondering if it will be a success. And but I'm pretty convinced and that it will be. So yeah, I'm not so nervous to be honest. The only thing is to get everything within the hour is kind of a challenge. All the new stuff.
And the big question is, will Ralph do the pyro this year?
Oh yeah, I will be behind with my earphones. Yeah, talking to the front of house.
Fireworks! We need fireworks!
More firework, please.
We need fire! Ah! Perfect.
The best tour managers always become friends with the pyro guys, and then they're like, "Oh, wow,
Oh,
Ralph just left."
okay.
Maybe if he rejoins, can you turn him down because on my screen he's
Yeah,
very
I
loud.
just did, and then he
I
left.
don't know why Riverside doesn't have controls for that. Like that I can
They
just
have.
turn because that makes no sense
No, they
that I
have, but
can't control it.
yeah. Anyway, I can control it, but
But I was saying, I have had worked with several tour managers, and sometimes some of them would like become friends with the people who do the pyro on stage. And then because they're so nice and respectful, then sometimes the pyro guys think like, oh, we do some extra shots for this DJ because we like his team.
mm,
Um, and that's very interesting how that works.
yeah, because
Um,
it's all a networking thing eventually. You mean?
yeah, well, it's like yeah, like how do people behind the scenes do they like to work with you? I think that's also very important for a successful show. I think if everybody is I think you should treat everybody with respect regardless, but I think if you do and you're nice to the people that are on stage, you get more out of your show. Um Also when it comes to like pyro and CO2.
I saw this video coming by on my timeline from the team of Martin Garrix, the visual guys, and I don't know whatever they do, like visuals, pyro, about like I think the sentence said something like I want to be I want to be just as enthusiastic about my job as these guys. You know, like they were jumping and going crazy like just as Martin Garrix. Is that something you recognize, or is that even real, or is it maybe played? Like, what do you think?
Um, I think I've seen it. I think one of them isn't even part of the visuals team. I think that's Alex, but I'm not sure.
Let's
No, but
debunk it.
I think his team really is very enthusiastic and really they know all the music, so they definitely yeah you get energy there as well, especially if you see what they do and you see that on screen and with the lights. So I definitely think it's real.
Yeah.
I've worked with one visual guy from France, Florimond, and Zyper is his name. His DJ name. I think it's a DJ name, kind of. I don't know. But
Good stuff.
he was also very like he knew all my tracks and he made specific visuals for specific festivals, and he would get like very excited, but not that jumpy. But he was more of
Nah, I
a
think they are excited, but they kind of exaggerate for the video.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. By the
But
way,
yeah, I think Martin Garrix has one of the coolest shows. His show really relies on all the a lot of lasers and all the visuals and all the especially lights.
hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Is that
It's also
something
something.
you?
Sorry.
No, is that something you kind of are part of creating yourself as well? Like, are you part of the like for you example, Ralph? Like, do you have a visual show with Tomorrowland? Is there any room for that?
No, not for Tomorrowland. Those kind of shows, they have their own shit.
Yeah, because I was
But
thinking, Anima, like on Saturday night, Evan Anima is playing. That's all about
yeah,
visuals.
I think they will get something done. It must be. It's kind of part of what they do. But for yeah, the rest, there's nothing really possible.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think the big guys they will get some. Yeah, they're a little bit more. Yeah, they have more. They can probably do something, and yeah, I think for anima they will come up with something, but it's not for everybody. Yeah, I mean it's also a lot of stuff that has to be arranged and yeah.
Yeah, but then you're talking about Tomorrowland specifically. But how do you do that usually on like festival shows or club shows?
Depends if for a club show it's easier. I mean, a lot of cool clubs they are full with big ass LED screens, and then yeah, you have to bring somebody to do the visuals if you want to make sure they also interact with the music.
So they have to be done live. It's not like
Yeah,
a software thing or something.
yeah, or you don't play live, or you do the visuals live.
Yeah, makes
But
sense.
most of the DJs I know
Usually,
play live.
usually in the clubs where they have the big LED screens, they have very capable visual artists,
Yeah, but if you
VJs.
really want to,
No, true, but like
yeah.
I've done shows where I was really impressed by the local VJs.
Oh,
Like I
they're
do think
great,
like if you really want to make your show next level and have like stuff synced to your music, you need your own VJ that
definitely.
knows the music. Yeah,
Hmm. Did
that
y-
can make it next level.
did you guys see the anima thing on the Sphere in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was amazing. Like the Sphere on itself is sick, but then with that visuals as well, like just bumping around that globe, it's
Yeah.
super great.
It's made for
It's
that almost.
yeah, yeah, it's like theater EDM, and you don't go there to dance, you go to watch, and it looks insane.
Hmm.
It's like a movie.
I'm really curious because I will definitely go there. I'm super curious to experience a set like that. I've seen the videos, but yeah, I'm curious to experience how it actually is. As you said, like, does the music add something to the whole thing, or is it just a visual thing, or like, what would
No,
be
it's
the?
both of them,
Mm,
interacting with each other, and I think on the one hand you have the raves where nobody holds their phone up and are just enjoying the moment as it is and going up in the music. And then on the other side of the spectrum is what anima does, like
mm,
visual, audio, and you want to watch it, you want to record it, and it's yeah, a lot less about dancing and being in the moment. It's like being all together watching this thing unfold, and it's
yeah,
also pretty cool. It's like going to a movie. Yeah.
like a theater, yeah.
Yeah, but next level.
And it's like on Saturday at least. Sunday it's a little less warm, but on Saturday it's 31 degrees.
It's gonna be
Phew,
hot.
that's hot, man, for a festival.
Yeah, but I'm checking the weather a lot. That's was something I'm actually a little bit nervous about. I mean,
Mm,
we have here in Holland and also Belgium, we had so much rain,
mm,
and it's insane. It's still there's so much rain.
yeah.
We didn't really have a summer yet, so yeah. And I know from last year also, there was at the Tomorrowland weekend, there was so much rain, and
Yep.
especially on the Sunday, people were just done. And like one third of the whole festival, they just left because they were cold. They were just, yeah, exhausted.
At what time do you
And yeah,
play?
we play. Yeah, I was just looking at it. We play a smaller stage by JBL at 5 to 6, and then from 7 to 8 we play the library.
Too
That's the
bad.
Smash the House stage.
Too bad that the stage for you will be empty at 5 because everybody goes to my set.
Ooh, where do you play?
Yeah,
Where do
tough
I
you
luck
play?
played
for us.
the I played the Planaxis stage, but I didn't hear that much yet about which stage that exactly is. Um, but I mean, every
It's near
stage.
the toilets.
Oh, that one, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
It's by the
you're
exit.
playing for the people who have to take a shit.
Oh, that's actually I love that.
Elevator music.
The bass helps with that if you
Oh
play a
yeah,
lot
it
of
does.
bass.
True, true.
No, I think which stage is it? Let's have a check because now the first one will be a little JBL stage. I think it's on invite. So
Is that the NFT stage?
no, I don't think they have the NFT stage anymore because of course they worked with.
They do have the NFT stage, as in the let's say the VIP stage on the main deck, but
Didn't
not
they
Oh,
have
the
the
that's
not.
cool.
first NFT act on the main stage?
I don't think so.
Oh, what's this?
Last time they did. Huh?
Fuck off.
Was it last year? Some monkey or something?
2 years
Played the main
ago.
stage 2
2
years
years
ago.
ago.
Look at
Yeah.
Holy shit.
amazing.
I
Yeah,
just I
that was
just
fun.
came out of another like 2-hour podcast recording about NFTs and Web3. So
Pioneering, man. It's always tricky.
pioneering, that's it. Will the Bit3 is asking if your live sets will be on live stream.
I think the main stage set of the July the 26th will be.
That's next week.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if the other one will be.
And yours, Jay, like will it even be online afterwards, maybe, or
No, I don't think so. No.
will you be
There's
able
only
to record it yourself? Probably not.
no, I don't think it's allowed either. I will film, of course. I have a video guy with me
Is that
to
allowed?
film. Yeah, that's allowed. So I will film some of my new songs. So yeah, we're gonna see how that
Hey, tough luck
plays
for
out.
you, Jay Hardway, but DJ Diesel is playing the library at 5 to 6.
Yeah, but he plays dubstep and stuff. He's very
Fuck that.
alternative.
I'm
So
ditching Marlon. I'm going to Shag.
How's that check?
Yeah.
yeah, Shaquille O'Neal.
DJ Diesel. Okay. By the way, maybe that's interesting for the people listening because I just asked, like, is that allowed to bring a cameraman or a woman with you?
Yeah,
Could
it
you
is.
guys explain how that process goes? Because it's not always allowed, right? It's something you have to request.
Yeah, they want yeah, Tomorrowland is very strict about how they come across on all platforms, including the social media of the artists. So they have some guidelines which they say like you don't have to follow, but like just some guidelines on what how to tag Tomorrowland and what not to say if you tag Tomorrowland, stuff like that. And they want to have yeah, the stages for the artist is what they mostly want. So they don't want a whole team of photographers, also of their own photographers on the stage. So they try to keep it as clean as possible. So you have to
Yeah.
ask for extra permission and just kind of keep it to a minimal. Um, and yeah, they know people in the crowd are going to film, but they really want to keep also the looks are so important
Yeah,
for
the
because if you
branding.
look at Tomorrowland when like 10 years ago or more when Avicii played and there's like people chilling behind him, people of the industry like having a beer and other artists, it's a bit like random. It looks a bit messy and they really are. If you've been to Tomorrowland, you'll see they're so it's visually so important how everything looks, so they want to keep that in
Mhm.
check.
I still remember, like, 11 years ago when I had to play there. I remember that you were only allowed to bring one person with you. So your manager, your booker, your tour manager, whoever that
Yeah.
was,
Mhm.
but one person. Is that still the case, or
I yeah, it depends. If you're a big artist, you can demand more. If you're playing in a more important stage, for
also
example.
you're
But
saying I was a small artist? Okay.
you're a very very small artist. No, I get two guests with me,
Mm.
and yeah, you just don't really get more than that. So
Yeah.
it's but it's also to prevent um artists bringing their whole families and friends and that the backstage is meant for professionals, and that you notice that there as well. It's so you don't have to worry about uh, um, like people putting a camera in your face, stuff like that. It's just industry professionals, and that's why it's a bit more. Yeah, it's very relaxed backstage. I
Yeah, the
always think.
backstage is really chill, and you see
Yeah,
everybody walking there. At the back of where you get your drinks, it's an a hockey club, and in the you have do have two rooms for the bigger artists who can change or whatever, and but the rest, everybody's just being in the same place. So you're walking there, like DJ Diesel runs by, he actually has a whole entourage with him. Looks quite massive, and
Daunting.
I mean he's a big guy. And then you see Dimitri Vegas and like Mike there walking there. You see maybe Guetta walking by, Timmy
Idris
Trumpet, and
Elba.
everybody's just there. Yeah.
Idris Elba.
It was
What's his
Alba.
name? Is that
Oh,
that was
dude,
also
when
a
I
few years
saw him,
ago.
I was actually
Yeah,
flabbergasted.
I was
Like,
with you then. I was with
oh
you. He was
yeah,
like, "Oh, I have to go talk to him."
no, I didn't even think that. I just yelled out, "Yo, Idris!" And he looked at me, and I was like, "Fuck, what am I doing, man?" I said to him, "I'm a big fan." And I didn't even take a picture. I shook his hand, and you, me, and Tom were there, right?
Yeah. Mm.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. But I mean, that's not taking pictures backstage. It's because they set it up so
Yeah,
they also
fuck it.
ask you not
I
to
had
do
to
that.
take a picture then.
They also ask you not to do that or try
Yeah.
to not to,
I
and that's
remember
nice
him.
about
I
there.
remember even inviting him to come to see our main stage show. He didn't come.
Why is Joey laughing so hard?
Yeah,
It's just a fun anecdotal story. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but
it's like
hey, but
he's just some
imagine.
guy, right? You
Yeah,
know that, right? He's a
but
guy. He
I've
might
played
say yes.
basketball when I was young, so I was at the time. That was the time that Shaq was big, literally and figuratively. But when I see him, man, I just I
you
it,
choke.
plus his whole entourage, everybody's big around him. It's just this big menacing crowd coming at you, like, "Hey, Shaq, wanna do a picture,
Hi.
please?" Yeah, no, man, and but yeah, with
He
some other
apparently is
guys, yeah,
super nice. He's a very friendly guy, apparently, from the people that met him that I know.
yeah, he doesn't look the way,
Well, from what you see on socials as
but
well,
I
he
heard so
seems to
too.
be a
Yeah,
super nice and relaxed guy. But yeah,
we actually exchanged some DMs a few years ago. But still, yeah, when I see him and but it's weird sometimes, like meeting famous people, and yeah, it's it's not that I'm a shy guy or something, but yeah, I've been around, and then when I see we did a track like way back called Show Rocker. And Jermaine Dupri, big rapper, he did tracks with Jay Z and stuff, and he did a verse on our track. And I saw him play in this club in LA, and I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna talk to him, man. So then I walk up to him and go like, "Hey, it's me, Ralph, Bass Checkers. You did the track of our Show Rocker." But probably he's done like 200 of them, maybe even 300. He didn't know, but um, it got really awkward, and his whole entourage was looking like,
But
"Who's this kid?"
I kind of have that I used to
But
get a
hey,
bit.
you never know. Talk to the guy. Fuck it. What's
yep,
the worst that can happen?
true.
But it's funny because I've had the times where I was like kind of starstruck of meeting bigger DJs until I realized that they're just other famous people that they're just people and it's not really something special. And if you usually they don't like, and I have the same when you then are talking about only like industry things or
Yeah, yeah.
like, oh, we did that song, and it's like they don't really care about that. They just would rather have a normal conversation about how shitty the weather is in
No, it
Belgium or something.
depends on who it is, because some are really always enthusiastic. I talk a lot about music when I'm backstage at
Yeah, but
Tomorrowland.
there's a difference between like you talk about music or how do you produce, or it's like, hey, we produced that track for you, and then they're like, yeah, great, man. There's not really much you can um, say back to that as
Yeah.
well. It's like when people come up to me, and I always appreciate it. And I'm like with ADE, there's a lot of people that then say, hey, I signed up for your remix contest. And I'm always just always do that if you see me because I always like to have a talk with everyone. But it's also like that's the information that I'm happy you did, but I don't. That's not a conversation starter. Just ask me, hey, how are you doing, or where are you up to now, or
Yeah,
um, just that's
Sometimes it
also a
also
tip.
gets awkward when people, because you know a lot of people just from their Instagram. I know what they do, how they look, and what their name is,
I have a
and
funny story about
then
this.
yeah, then you introduce yourself or to each other, and sometimes people act like, okay, oh yeah, it's new information, but we all know it's not new information.
Yeah,
So for me, it works better that I say, "Hey, I know you. I've seen you online. Don't have to introduce yourself and or already acknowledge what they have done to not make it awkward because sometimes it's just weird, man. All the
Yeah,
yeah,
talks you have.
it's funny. I once played a festival and then I left to the backstage and there's the other DJ that I saw, and I was like, I saw him and I was like, I know that dude. We've met, whatever. I know him, and I'm like, oh, dude, what's up? And what time are you on? And then like, yeah, we met before. And he's like, no, no, I don't think so. And then later I was like, okay, whatever. And then later I find out he's like a Dutch actor, famous Dutch actor turned DJ. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I just knew his face, but I had no idea who he
yeah,
was. So it
yeah.
must have been very weird for him.
yeah,
You
But
know,
then again, because I went up to him like, hey, what's up, dude? Hey, what time are you? He did then interact with me normally. It was just a bit like, did if when I said, hey, we met before, and it was like, no, then it became a bit awkward.
yeah.
yeah.
But
I always
Sometimes it's also weird that you have these talks with other artists that you actually don't know, but you have talks with them like as if you know each other because
uh
you kind of do because you see,
yeah.
you know stuff
yeah,
about each other.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I
And
actually use
yeah,
this, let's say, theory in the coaching as well, as in, I call it the GTST effect. In English, we
I
call it
think this guy was from GTS actually.
oh
This
yeah,
is
yeah,
really
could
funny.
be. Probably, how's the guy? No, it doesn't matter. But in English, you might call it the bold and beautiful effect or whatever, like this rom-com soap series kind of thing that's on TV.
telenovela.
Yeah, which is on the TV like for about 25 years, every day in day out during the weekdays at 8 o'clock in the evening. That's GTST in the Netherlands. And because of that consistency for 25 years long, everybody in the Netherlands knows at 8 p.m. on RTL 4, GTST is on, and you can watch 30 minutes of other people literally living their lives. And that's fiction. But now with social media, it's not fiction. It's literally your life that you're showing, that you're sharing
Well,
every day.
that becomes that's another
could could
discussion, but
become
it is
fiction,
fiction.
but
But yeah,
in a,
yeah,
in a
yeah.
in a in a realistic, well, in a perfect world, you would be your authentic self on social media and you show what you're doing. But it's literally the same effect. People watch you every single day, even though it's just 5 seconds or 10 seconds or a minute or whatever. By watching you on a consistent base in their timeline, they kind of build a connection with you, and especially with the characters that they feel connected with, because you have the same interest, because you have the same passion, or you're like-minded in some kind of way. And then when you actually meet each other, you kind of get that emotion, like, I know you,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know who you are. But
It's very funny.
it's super weird how that goes in your brain. But you
Yeah,
just, and
yeah.
that other person
But
is like,
this is why like famous actors who play bad roles get hate
yeah,
mail and get
yeah,
like shouted at on the street and like it's actually really hey Ralph posting. But
I
that's
was just
actually a really funny effect as well. That like I know the woman who plays Skylar in Breaking Bad. She's
hmm,
like one of the most hated characters, and then she gets like shouted at on the street because she has plays. She apparently does such a good part playing it
yeah.
that
But that's
they
also
hate her.
that's also the downside of success for an actor, because if they get really successful in one role, they're kind of screwed, because it's hard to kind of get them signed into another role because people connect them with that brand.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Like the guy from The Office, for example. I'm not sure what his name is, but I saw this clip of him as well, saying that he gets shouted on the streets on a daily basis by
Steve
people who,
Carell.
yeah, I think it's Steve Carell, right? Carell.
Steve Carell.
Yeah,
I'm an
but he
American.
gets he
Steve
gets
Carroll.
like reactions on the street every day with quote from The Office. He was like, people still think I'm that guy, but I am
Yeah.
not. That was just a role. It was my
It's
job.
like Bryan Cranston who plays Walter in Breaking Bad. He's
Yep.
probably only cat's dead when he
Yeah,
is somewhere.
and that's
But I
all
think
because that's
if you
all you
score,
you build your identity, and they used to do it through regular TV and like maybe series and movies. But now everyone owns their own movie, right? Because your socials is
Yeah.
literally your own movie.
Some of them interesting, and some of
Some
them
of them
are not.
not. Yeah.
We don't
True.
want reality.
But it's funny.
We
It's
want
funny how
interesting stuff.
it's funny how the world works with like people are famous or known for something, and I always see it in Holland as well. It's this is what I call I made this up myself. It's like the famous person effect is where someone has their breakthrough and then they think they figured something out that the rest of the world has not because they and I've experienced this myself. And then you think you know something that the rest don't. So you know you're like you've got it right and you've done the right things in life because you like have now this career and stuff. But if you're a normal human, you have yeah, you've been raised normal and humble, then you know like that's fake. That feeling that I have, that's fake. I'm just some normal dude. But a lot of people get famous and then they really believe that they are somehow better than others and know more. So that's why a lot of actors and stuff they also start lecturing people on social media about politics and stuff, and people listen to it, which is also a bit of a problem. But
Yeah.
it's funny how that works. That people then think, oh, now I became a famous actor,
Who do
so I
you have
now
in
also
mind
can
now?
lecture people about politics.
Who do you
Sorry,
have in mind now?
Which
famous
person?
people. The
Huh?
famous people effect. Oh,
Yeah,
who do I have in mind?
Yeah.
yeah.
There's many. There's many, but let's say there's a lot. I'm not gonna name a specific person, but there's a lot
You
of
will
Dutch.
run into them.
There's a
That's
Yeah.
lot
cool.
of Dutch who then blow up on social media, and then think they can lecture people on life because they somehow understand it. Yeah, it's maybe I should think about how to put this into words a bit better, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah. And
famous
think
people
about it some
effect.
more.
A little bit more. Yeah. Hey
Yeah.
guys, let's dive into some
Also,
questions.
I have to have one funny quote about this.
Let's
I
go.
one time worked at a studio, and there were two girls who were also there. You meet in the cafeteria, and you're just talking about everything, just like what are you doing? What are you guys doing here? And they said they were singing something for a TV show. I was like, oh, okay. And so what do you guys do? Because I was like, I don't watch TV, and then that's what I said. I don't watch TV, so where can I know you from? And then one of them just after that was so felt so insulted that she didn't really talk to me anymore. And the other one was really nice about it. Like, yeah, we're
Who were
actors,
they?
and
Now I'm really
yeah, no,
curious.
I'm not gonna say names,
Now
but
I'm
they are
curious.
in Holland quite famous. And one of them was just like having a normal talk, and she didn't really care that she was known or not known by me. But the other one was really like, "How do you not know me? I'm from that TV show."
By the
Yeah.
way, you kind of look like Olmo from the Spanish team, man.
Almo, yeah, holy shit.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's that?
You look
Olmo?
at
He's
yeah.
a great
How do you spell
footballer.
it?
Almo.
Olmo.
Like you
O
say.
Dani
L
Olmo?
M
Yeah.
O. Yeah.
Ah, no, no, that's an insult
For who?
for both of us.
Huh?
Both of
No,
us.
I was just looking at it, and man, it's not that you really look alike, but you look
You
like
could be
him. You're
brothers.
kind of
Yeah,
yeah.
I see
Yeah.
that. I see that. I have a picture here. If I would show this, maybe Joey, you can wait.
But you also look like Jonas from Dark,
If
which
Joey
is a
can
great
share this
series, by
photo
the
on a
way.
screen or something, I don't know.
Um
Wait,
Ba-dum.
I'll link. There you see that photo. I can then see. Oh yeah, if you
wait.
look at it in a flash, you can think that's
Yeah,
me.
definitely. This definitely. Wait. Screen. Where is
That's funny.
it?
Hey,
Definitely.
Jopke!
Job good. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, guys, let's
Anywho,
dive into some questions that we've got in the Discord as always. So if you're not in the Discord yet,
Join.
dive in.
that's the community's hotspot where we talk about music marketing, promotion, mindset things, feedback on music, and you can also send in questions for this podcast on a weekly basis. So let's dive into some questions that we've got in the Discord. One from Bruno. Do labels ask for a certain amount of tracks to release in their contracts, or if they don't, how many tracks should I have ready? Good question.
Do labels ask for certain amounts? Well, we talked about this quite some times, also with Laidback Luke. Labels love it if you have more music ready. The more, the merrier. So the more you can have ready, that's like in the same style. If they love your stuff, that's good. And how many tracks should I have ready? Is if you feel like a track has potential, finish it, send it out and on to the next one. Just don't stop that process, and then I think it doesn't really matter. Yeah, you can't really put a number to it maybe, but just keep starting new tracks then if you finish them.
I
um
actually heard a great sentence in a book on the way here.
Oh, here we
he
go,
heard
man.
it
Here we go
sentence in a
again.
book.
He
I
No,
heard
don't
a
it was
sentence
understand.
in his book.
yeah. I
What is
listened to
this?
books.
Hello,
I listened
Joey.
to books. Yeah.
this
No,
this
but it
oh,
was
but guys, by the way, have you seen Severance? Just we have to
no,
talk
not
about
yet.
Severance, the
No.
TV series. It's the best I've ever seen.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay, next, never mind.
but
Just keep
I
that for
guess the
later.
quote was from a guy from Disney who said that we never finish our
Disney waar.
we n- we never finish
Disney
our
good.
we never finish our movies. We just let them go. As in, there is in terms of perfectionism, right? Like we
Look,
can
Yeah, I
never
have
well,
the
perfect.
same feeling with the Peugeot my wife drives. They didn't really finish the car, they just let it go. Not per se a good thing.
but what does the quote mean, Joey?
You don't want to work until it's perfect because it's never going to be perfect. There needs to be a point where you're just going to
Okay,
say,
but this
"Let it go."
kinda encourages mediocre shit.
No, it
Just
doesn't.
let it go.
No,
Hey,
because there has
whatever,
to be a
dude.
point. You also need to define a point in your process of making a song where you say, "It's done. Let's go." While it could have been 20% better, 30% better.
Well, if
Um,
you can do 20 or 30%
I
better, then I
The
would
thing is,
urge you to make
no,
it
no, no.
20 or at least 15% better.
Agree with this quote in a way that if you go back to my tracks and I hear some things or some transitions and like, oh, I should have changed that or I would change that now. But I think it's important to, yes, at some point you have to say now it's done, but you can't 100% I think decide this yourself. So that's why I love working with labels, because they give you some pointers on a track that say like, hey, if you finish this and this, or if you have a bit more bass there or whatever, then it's good for us. And then you can kind of say, hey, now I feel like it's finished, and then you let
You
it
know
go.
that
So I would.
movie, June 2? Major plot holes. They shouldn't have let it go. It's cool to watch, but man, the story just sucks. How cool would it have been if the story would have matched the visuals?
Then you should look at Severance. It's on
by the
Apple
way,
TV.
Okay.
um, Apple TV. Okay,
Yeah, but this
the one
honestly,
streaming things I
honestly,
didn't
I
have.
I was blown away. This is a series from 2022, so I'm a bit late to the party, but it's, yeah, I love the whole thing, and it's the writer is also the
I'm
creator.
watching Apple TV now.
Ben
I'm watching
Ben
Ted
Stiller
Lasso, which I really like.
Ben Stiller directed it, but he's actually a really good.
Zoolander.
Yeah, yeah, but he's like,
Blue
you'll
Steel.
be you'll be surprised about this series. It's I think
Blue
I still love Breaking Bad, but this one
Can you mute Jay Hardway so we can
can't
talk
top it.
about Blue Steel?
Like the Molly.
Yeah. Okay, Severance. Noted. Let's go.
If you haven't
Let
Seven.
it
watched the Blue
go.
Steel, yeah.
Or
So now it's time to let go. Next question.
Okay. Anyway, there we go.
yeah,
Ellis
shit
Prime.
quote.
At what point in their career did Ralph and Jay decide to work with a manager, and how did they connect?
Okay. We started working with a manager. Yeah, when it was needed, actually, when there was stuff coming at us, which we just didn't know, and we needed help. Came pretty soon after Mush Mush. We were joining Ace Agency,
Mush Mush
and
was your
we got
first big
interest
release,
in.
right?
Sorry?
Mush Mush was your first big release.
Yeah, our international release. Of course, we had a few big national hits.
16.
Yeah, Klambu, hey, still
Bamboo.
gets played.
Yeah,
And
big.
No, then yeah, we were introduced by the head honcho at Ace Agency. Yasha introduced us to Hugo, who was doing starting the management of Afrojack at the time, and but I gotta say, down the road also we parted ways. I think you always come in your career needing different stuff. I mean, you start out and you need stuff. Then you're at this point and you need uh,
Yep.
other stuff.
You
And
gain
when a
knowledge.
manager doesn't have all competencies, or he must, yeah, get it from somewhere else. But yeah, it's like a football coach and his team. Sometimes you gotta switch to make it fresh and depends on where you're at or what you want. And yeah, but uh, to answer it shortly, when there was stuff we were encountering that we couldn't solve ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for you, Jay?
I started releasing at Spinning Records, and then also signed with their management. And after a few years, it wasn't really a match, and we decided also that it's better to have a label separate from your manager. And then I met also through Yasha, met a manager Juliet, who really helped me to get a professional mindset, and which I kind of lacked at the time, and I was kind of like, oh, I know everything, and I kind of like had my vision, but didn't realize like, hey, you need to work with companies and with it's a business. Let's say
Mhm.
that's a simply said.
So that's interesting. In the beginning, you didn't have that mindset of it's a business.
Yes, well, I just kind of wanted my way. So I want to do this video, I want to do this, and I want to do that show that way. And you kind of have to. That's a good thing to have, but you kind of need to sometimes tone that down, and kind of realize what other parties are doing for you, and trust. Also, that's might be the most important thing. Trust that they know what they're doing, and that it's not going to be exactly the way you want it sometimes, but good in another way. And I think that's a thing with a manager is really important. You need to learn to let certain stuff go, and trust that they will take care of it. And on
Hmm.
the other hand, you still need a clear vision of what you want. And then it's like I see in the question as well, like what are the main jobs you ask for your manager to do in your career? um for me, that's a thing where I thought always, if I get a manager, if I get a new manager, everything will be fixed. But
Yep.
that's not true. It's the stuff where you don't really have the experience is where you want a manager. So let's say like, hey, negotiations for the how do you say, with songwriters and with the label about splits. I don't want to get too involved. I kind of know what I want, but my manager is way more equipped and way more professional to figure that out with the label. And that's the stuff I have a manager for, um, and to kind of like keep the relationships with all the promoters and agencies that I work with. To have my manager there to kind of have a um, someone to come up with a how do you say, uh, yeah,
Sparring. Yeah,
sparring,
sparring. Yeah.
so that you can
Sparring.
kind of like figure out, hey, which direction do we want to go, so you can figure that out together, and then or define it better. So like, I'm a very chaotic man, as you can hear right now. So I'm like with my manager, like, oh, I have all these ideas. Then we kind of like, okay, but this is going to be the focus point in the next meeting with our agent. So that's my manager helps me structure my mind in that way, and come with a professional way to approach it. And yeah,
Mm,
that's what I have a manager for now.
cool. A question for Ralph. Do you think old school big room is dead, or will it make a comeback at some point? I was listening to Derp the other day, and damn, I miss that sound.
Yeah, whereas Derp wasn't even so big roomish. Uh, if you listen to the kick, actually kind of techno-ish because the kick has no key. But oh no, Big Room is not dead at all. Actually, we're also in the process of making a cool new Big Room track. Still love it. But the thing with Big Room is it kind of needs evolvement. Evolvement?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It needs to
And
evolve.
because it kind of sounds old sometimes. And even when you make it new, it's kind of the way it's set up that it kind of feels old. But to be honest, if I listen to some of the techno, the more commercial hard techno sets, they're pretty big roomish. Even if you listen to Reinier Sonneveld or something, and it's kind of an evolvement. And there's something there, but we're all in high tempo now, and it feels also weird to put something in there for 130 BPM. But there's something, I think, something brewing, and I know other guys are also busy with Big Room now, but everybody feels that it has to evolve. I think
Yeah.
W and W are one of the last guys who still play a lot of Big Room.
Hmm.
But also, to be honest, if I listen to the set and it works, I mean, hey, they get the whole crowd going. But for me, some of the tracks just feel old, and it must renew at some point. But I still like it a lot, and I think, yeah, it's not dead at all. It will make its return. Yeah, maybe even this summer, late summer, or then next year. Yeah.
Maybe next year. There is a follow-up question to that, as in, if you make an older track, maybe a dated sound, as you describe as well, still well mixed and mastered, are labels more likely to reject it? And what would you do in that case? Would you
I
self-release it,
I
or
have an
Yeah.
opinion about that.
okay, let's go.
I don't think I don't think good music will sound dated. And I think Derp to me doesn't sound dated at all. It still sounds really good, a really good track. But if you make something like Derp now, it will sound dated, and it's kind of because it's kind of linked to the time and when you heard it and how did you feel when you heard it the first time. But a lot of songs we still know from like even pop music from the 70s and 80s, the good ones, the hits are still very good and don't really sound and sometimes yes, but a lot of times don't sound per se old. And I think that's something where if you make good music now, I think a label isn't per se always looking for we need this style because this is hype now. No, they need good music. If you have a good
Now,
A&R at a label,
yeah, but with
I
Big Room,
really
it's
think I
yeah,
really think
something.
that they will listen to, hey, this is good or not good, and it's not per se so much of, oh, it's that style so it's outdated. If it
No,
sounds
but it
outdated, it just isn't good enough, let's
no, but
say.
it will always sound just generic right now in the form that is as how it is.
Yeah,
But
but
we're
not if you make,
actually,
that's what I mean. If you make good music, it's like you said, it has evolved. It's like
yeah, but Big Room has not evolved that much, and that's where we
it,
go wrong. But I was listening to this track by
I don't think.
Warface and Nico Moreno. That sounded kind of Big Roomish, but evolved, and it's too hard to be Big Room. But there's also something in there.
Yeah,
But
but
if you
then
listen
Bikram
to
is evolving towards that, is what I mean. It's like kind of like um it's if I take an old project of mine and chase the melody, it's gonna sound old because it's like it hasn't.
no, but Derp is a different beast, to be honest, and because that's the only track that's in our set right now, which is of the old school shit.
Because it's good. It's the only timeless track you
No,
made.
no, but what's not good about it, it's all the edits and how it's done. So I remade all the 8 bars, all the edits are gone, and I cannot even open the file anymore. It's too old. So I did it all in the wave. And but that's what makes the track feel old. And why the track doesn't feel old is because of the kick. The kick was never a big room kick, not like tremor or cracking or whatever it all was. That always had that tone in it. It was like key. There was key in it. That's so typical big room. But that one actually had a kick so low there was no key. The kick you could put under everything, and that's why it was a little bit of a different beast than it is now. That's why it doesn't feel so old, because that's what we do right now. And but if you take all our other tracks, they feel old to me right now, in the edits, in the sound design. If you take the big kick and you get all the sounds around it, it just, yeah, that must renew to for big room to
I
renew. Yeah.
For me, if I don't, if I think my tracks of mine, some of them do, they sound old. I don't think they were timeless. They weren't, well, they were good enough for the time, but not timeless good. I have some of my tracks that I still play that are just still good, and I feel like that's kind of a timeless thing. And I think that's the thing about music. What I mean is like it's not a certain kick that makes that track timeless. It's something about that track that you can't
Well,
explain. And that's what I mean with like if you that's why the question, if you make a track in an older dated sound, yeah, then you, yeah, then it's not a good track, I
I
think.
actually saw you on your stories. You still play a lot of big room. I also saw you play mariachi, which is also a good example because that's a big room drop. But kind of mariachi kind of got this vibe. It's a party vibe which never gets old. And for me also that's one of the better tracks. That's why it got played in a lot of just little bars in Holland
Yeah.
that would play like
Yeah,
Dutch music, and then also mariachi came about all of a sudden
that was the
because it
benchmark
got
for a
that.
good EDM song.
No, well, yeah, but sometimes they just got that spark or that vibe that's just like
Yeah,
just free. It's out of the genre.
yeah.
And yeah, there's more stuff, more tracks like it. But let's say Levels for me, which is like one of the best tracks ever. Yeah, you cannot redo Levels right now as
Yeah,
in the musical palette that there is. Although
Yeah.
I cannot think of it, or else I would.
yeah,
But yeah, kind of, it's all
yeah. But that's,
feels old.
yeah, that's what I mean. I think Levels itself to me doesn't sound old. It still sounds as a very solid track. But that's what I mean with if you then make something
Yeah,
with the same sound set, it will sound old.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
because it's not.
we
Yeah,
now have a feeling with the track
yeah,
already, so
yeah,
and you cannot
exactly. Yeah,
establish that with new shit. So
yeah.
that's actually just part of the answer. Yeah, we just don't know, but I cannot see it happening right now. That Big Room makes a big comeback, and but it's definitely not gone. It's still existing
Yeah.
in a
It's.
lot
I
of
think
sets. I
it's
see it at
interesting.
Tiesto's, even Armin plays still Big Room, and everybody.
I think it's very important as a producer to not think in genres like big room, because then you're like, oh, I'm making a big room track right now, so I'm gonna use this kick. Whereas what I do a lot is I try to just, hey, I'm gonna make something that I want to play in my set. I don't care at all. So I'm like, the only thing I usually start with is defining the BPM. And
Yeah, but
lately it's
then
been
you're
a bit
yeah.
faster. It's been a bit faster, but it can still be considered big room, but I don't care about that. And all the tracks that did really well for me, I didn't care about, hey, this is that genre. I just started from a cool idea, and I think
Yeah, but sometimes it's
that's
nice to
important.
start with a kick. I started a lot of
Sure.
tracks when I heard a cool kick, and I was
Yeah,
actually
but I mean,
just
you can still make
this
something.
week. I was like, I have this need, this feeling that I want to make a cool big room track, but it's hard.
I
Yeah, but I
actually.
think you can still take an old school big room kick, and you can still make something very new. It just depends on where you go from there. But I think that's something in music production that is, don't try to think too much in, oh, I'm making old school big room now. Try to think like, hey, what would Tiesto is playing this and this track, what would he play, what can I make that he would play? That's a really interesting way to be, yeah, renewing your sound, your own sound as well, I think.
Hmm. After last week's episode with Chucky, I'm not sure if he did it in the podcast or afterwards, but he mentioned that he added three of my songs in his playlist again, or in his like DJ set recently, and that got me thinking. Like, let me dive into my old like DJ sets of 11 years ago and listen back to all the music, right? So the
Mm.
releases, but also what I played back then. And that's actually super fun to do. I'm not sure if you guys have ever done that, but you should go back on your SoundCloud, start scrolling back, and just listen what you were playing back then and what kind of songs you released. And then you kind of figure out, at least for me, like I can listen to my own songs with such a distance right now, in time, but also like mentally. Uh, and I don't have that producer brain anymore, I would say. So I can listen to it completely different now. And then I can say that a certain amount of songs that I've made could be defined as timeless, but the majority of things is Like if you listen to
Shit.
it now, it's shit, you know. But I would say 20% actually still quite sounds quite nice, you know. Like
which is a
I would
lot.
still
It's a
play it.
lot. That's like
Yeah, but yeah,
that.
20% over
Uh,
let's say
No, but that
15.
means
some
that means
fragments of them. Yeah.
yeah. I think that means talent as a producer. If your tracks still work, some of them 10 years later, you did something right.
Thank you. That could be. But to me, it was like
You had a
was
good
really.
ghost producer, if that's the case, you know.
I need to thank my ghost producer. No, but like to me, it was really a realization of like, okay, actually, most of the songs you produce is not your best work, but you just let them go in the sake of you need to release something, and it's fine enough for then. But it's not something time will survive, right?
Mm. But
Um,
also the sets. To be honest, if I listen to
that's well.
older sets, there was this time people just got lazy with their sets, and
Everybody just played Bass Jackers mashup pack.
yeah, man,
Really, like,
they were played a lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
And but yeah, I gotta say, this year's set we put so much effort in it, and it's really, I think we it's the best set ever. No, it's a really good set,
which
and
one?
it's gonna be
The
this
main stage.
Sunday. Yeah, you're going
Oh,
on
the
Saturday,
Tomorrowland.
but
Yeah,
this Sunday on
I'll tune
Oh,
in.
Tomorrowland.
I'll tune in on the live stream. You know,
Actually, we're gonna practice it tomorrow. We're playing Perukaville, the camping. We're closing the Penny Tower,
hmm,
which is a cool gig. I like Paruka, and the camping we played it before, and it's pretty cool. The whole camping. There's only one stage. Maybe there's two now. Actually, back then there was one stage, and it was massive, man. I think like 12,000 people are on the camping alone, and they all come over there.
that's sick.
So
So you're gonna
it's
test the set there.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be like the test, and I think the set on Sunday will be like 95% the same as the set on the main stage on Friday, the 26th.
And what if you play the set and Marlon says like, nope.
Oh, but we road tested almost everything. But yesterday we did a remake of My Way, and that became a really fun track.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's
Act-
really cool.
Actually, Josh is mentioning something interesting in the chat right now. He said like this is where edits become helpful, so you can still play the older kind of songs, but in a new jacket. I would say
Sorry,
um,
what?
that this is where edits become helpful.
in
If
a
you think
new jacket.
the Dutch variety,
Stone
like
cold in English.
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, like I thought. Well, Josh asked it like that, but this is the Joey.
This is the Joey translation
Yeah.
version.
Okay.
Joey GPT.
Yeah. Well, what we do and did is actually I did that last week. Um, the I cannot open all the files anymore, but I do have a lot of the acapellas of our older tracks. I have them in a separate folder, and like you're gonna hear drop it like, drop it like that. What you're gonna hear that in our set, and that's how we do
What?
edit. I have to do it again.
No.
Drop it like that. What?
What? Fred again?
And you can sample this job,
Uh,
job,
job, okay?
and yeah. So, but yeah, we were working with memories, but we just couldn't cope. We couldn't fit it in, and or redoing that track. But to be honest, I still really like how memories is. Think we have the luxury problem of having too many tracks, and yeah, we cannot fit it in anymore. So at some point we had to say like, okay, it's kill your darlings right now.
Hmm,
Yeah.
okay, well,
That's
An
the
hour is
album
not so
title.
much,
It's a
especially
cool
when you
album
have an
title.
intro. Huh?
Kill Your
Cool album
Darlings.
title.
That's a cool
Yeah,
album
but you
title.
also the thing is right now you want to make a mix, and like what we used to do was mix, bam, hot cue, go into the next one, mix the intro of like a
Yeah,
break
yeah, you
into a
want them to
drop.
rave a bit more now.
It just
Keep
went
raving.
like full, like this, and now you just want to have a more. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like the people, even though it's like nowadays, like the attention span is so short, people are actually really like.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
relaxed. And now I just say it, they have Say it,
Well,
man.
I
The
think
word.
what you mean is that the tracks and the shows allow now for more uh times when there's a kick in. So like
Yeah,
you have a
more
drop
mixing,
and
more beat,
you kind of
especially
keep
that.
going.
Yeah,
You kind of keep going, and the people are like, we don't have to, like, let's say 10 years ago it was like put your hands up, and then for 30
yeah.
seconds everybody would jump, jump, jump. But
And then boom, that.
now it's like
Put
put
your
your
hands
hands
up
up, and then it's
again.
like
Jump,
go,
jump,
and then
jump.
people are
Yeah.
like raving for like a minute, and then
Uh,
comes another break, or another hi-hat enters the chat, like.
But
But
that's
there's
how
yeah,
how you do right now. So, but then it gets harder to fit in the amount of tracks you want. So
yeah.
you're kind of okay. Well, let's plug out the break here and put the break of this track in here, the drop of that one, and but it gets like a big mush. Marlon also likes to put vocals with the third or fourth mixer, but yeah, we now also chose for sometimes to just put it over the track like a mashup. And because else, yeah, he needs to be an octopus to do it else. But yeah, he's going to also do some little bit of tricks. Let's call them like that. Like back in the old day in the Nopes Dope time, he would do a lot of mixing, looping, all that kind of stuff. But it kind of phased out or something. I don't know what.
It's
Yeah.
also you're so in the spotlight right now on Tomorrowland for 1 hour on the main stage that it's like you have to, then that's the hour where it's all gonna happen, which
Mm.
is quite not really how DJing came about, where you were like, hey, you're selecting all the
No,
songs
but
for the vibe.
that's not about DJing. That's
No.
just a performance,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Yeah. No, but I mean
And
that makes
but
it
we're gonna
stressful.
he's gonna
That
do
that
shit live as well, and he's gonna take the risk. And yeah, he's and I really like that because he also feels that, and that's just it's also nice when it then works out, and you get that's when you get the real excitement, you know. If you put some risk in there, and when it yeah when it fails, you will probably also notice. But when
I
you will succeed, yeah.
Yeah, I always say if you pre-plan a whole set, it can be good. But if you don't plan everything, there can be, they don't have to, but like really magical moments where, and I've had it a lot because I never pre-plan my whole set. Sometimes you think out of nowhere of a track that you would have never thought of before,
Yeah,
and then you're like you play it, and the crowd just hears it and goes crazy, and you're like, this would have never happened
I think
if
that's
I
the skill. I think
pre-planned.
that's the DJ skill you develop over time. Like you just know how to steer a crowd and how to steer energy in a crowd. And sometimes you just realize like, oh, this track would fit perfectly after this one, or this
Yeah.
break would be best now, or that's the skill
Yeah.
you hone over the years
I
that
I
you
I
DJ.
wouldn't advise that for an hour on a big
No,
main
no, no,
stage
that's
Not the
somewhere.
main
different.
stage, no,
No,
definitely
that's
not. But where
different.
I
But
play
for
is
clubs, definitely. You
Yeah,
never know what kind of people you get in the club. Is it a VIP crowd or a raver crowd? And you
yeah,
gotta have that band in which you can operate like, okay, we're going more VIP now, or we're going more like the raver side right now. And
yeah, true.
yeah, actually, those are the more interesting things for a DJ. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Okay, guys.
I see a question.
Oh yeah, last question, and then we'll close off. One follow-up question about the pyro and the fire, CO2, confetti, everything. Do festival control these effects, or can DJs purchase specific amounts for their shows?
So
Sometimes you can purchase a little bit.
the way
Yeah.
this usually works is you have a rider which says we want this equipment, and it also says we want this fireworks and CO2, and then the booker negotiates about, well, the fee, but also this kind of stuff. So hey, we have a bit less fireworks but more CO2, and then sometimes there's the option to purchase more. But usually the festivals, especially with real like fireworks, the festival controls it because it's like safety regulations. But you can have a Ralph with you that has headphones on and tells the guys, we want fireworks now or CO2 now.
More
Uh,
firework, please.
yeah. And
Perfect.
one time, which was really funny, and it has nothing to do with this, but well, it does with fireworks. There was a festival for New Year's in China, and Martin Garrix was playing the final set, but they had to, out of nowhere, stop the festival 15 minutes before before 12. It was New Year's Eve. So and then they were like, yeah, but we have all this fireworks. So they just shut up like in the air, shut up everything all at once. Like it was the craziest fireworks show I've ever seen because it was just the fireworks show that they had planned plus all the fireworks that was at the last half hour of the set. So it was like
One big show.
crazy, crazy.
Yeah,
Nobody was listening to the music anymore.
You didn't hear music. It was like it was a war zone. It was crazy.
nice. Okay, guys, best of luck with your preparations for this week. I think next week will be nice to catch up on the stories of Tomorrowland and hear
Catch up.
your experiences.
But is it tomorrow or eh?
No,
Why
not
not?
tomorrow. I will be there Saturday. You guys will be there Sunday, and then next Wednesday we will catch up and
Are you
see.
taking the plane?
No,
Because I
helicopter.
think that I Tomorrowland.
Oh man, that's not a tdim.
Oh, this guy. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you're not part of the Discord yet, make sure to join there. It's in the links in bio and stuff. Go watch the live streams if they are available this week of Bassjackers and Jay Hardway. And otherwise, we will see
Oh,
you
you have a
guys.
new track coming out beginning of August.
nice.
Hey,
You
on the
should-
label
Hey,
of Will
where's the
Sparks.
promo? I didn't get the promo yet,
On the
man.
label of Will Sparks. On the label of Will Sparks.
Oh, that's cool.
Perfect.
I didn't suspect you releasing on Will Sparks' label.
He's my brother.
Oh yeah, you guys actually look alike.
Yeah.
He could be my brother. He could be my huge brother because I fit in him twice. I think.
It's
you
like
know,
Will
kinda
Sparks,
and his
Bolo,
arms
and
are.
Jay. Like
But
brothers.
it's releasing this week.
No. End of beginning of August. So like 9th of August, I
Ah,
think.
Hey, we have release on August as well, the 9th.
We gonna be yeah, fight.
Fight for the number one
Like
spot.
this, you know, like if we're
Oh no, you're the same for me. Anyway, guys,
Oh.
see you next week. Thanks for listening.
later.
Adios.